Good afternoon and welcome to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We're getting ready for some British wheelchair basketball action in the Premier Division between the Manchester Revolution and the Glasgow Rollin Rocks. We're just a couple of minutes away from tip-off and then we'll get things started. So my name is Kaz Bullock. I'll be with you throughout today's game here at the National Basketball Performance Centre. This is the last home game for the Manchester Revolution this season. Got quite a run of away games as we reach the second half of the season. So currently the Revolution are sat at 7-1 at the top of the Premier Division. They had their first loss of the season in their last game they played, which was against Sheffield in December. Lost that one 72-64. They had big games from Martin Edwards, 25 points, 15 rebounds and 5 assists. And Billy Bridge added in 19 points, 8 rebounds and 2 assists as well. So the team in their first season in the league, obviously a combination of the Owls and the Mavericks, had a really good run so far. They've been led by Martin Edwards, who's averaging 27.1 points per game, 12.3 rebounds and 6.1 assists, having a really, really strong season so far. And obviously we have players like Sophie Carrigill and Billy Bridge, Ibrahim Amadi, doing a great job for the Revolution as well. A couple of players playing up as well, Kaylee English and Gary Dawson, who we see in the Division 2 squad for the Revolution. They're playing up in the Premier Division, so always great to see players like that get an opportunity to play at a slightly high level, and definitely always helps them improve their game. And for Glasgow, they are currently 1-6. And their last game a couple of weeks ago against Sheffield, lost that one 88-43, and they will be facing Sheffield tomorrow in a rematch of that one. So a couple of games in a double header for Glasgow this weekend. So both teams will be wanting to get back into the win column. So teams coming on court and we'll get things underway shortly. So starting for Glasgow, it will be Josh Manson, Daniel McLaughlin, Austin McKenzie, James Beattie and Ronnie Cassells. For the Revolution, we have Martin Edwards, Finn Tonner, Billy Bridge, Sophie Carrigill and Ibrahim Amadi. So for the tip, it will be Ronnie Cassells and Ibrahim Amadi. So ball is up and first possession goes to the Revolution as Bridge controls things. Bridge, 3 is up, doesn't fall. Can't chase the rebound. A great save from Martin Edwards, but it's just going to come off the wheel of the Revolution. Great hustle though to start the game for the Revolution. Beattie looks to go inside up against Amadi. He's going to take the shot. It's a tough shot. Tonner pulls down the rebound. Edwards, skip pass over to Tonner on the baseline. And pass just a bit too strong there from Tonner on that shot. Glasgow with the rebound. There's Beattie at the free throw line. Passes back. Cassells, back to Beattie. ball just slips through the hands of Manson. So both teams yet to get on the scoreboard here early on in the first. Just under 9 minutes to go. Bridge inside to Amadi, great pass. And too strong off the glass for Amadi. As Rocks can't quite save it in, so ball is back with the Revolution. They'll get another 14 on the shot clock. So Edwards with the inbound. He's been fantastic all season long for the Revolution. Over to Tonner. Shots up, and it's good. First points of the game for the Revolution. It's a 2-0 lead with 8:30 to go in the first. Manson comes up against Carrigill. Working off the screen, long twos up, and doesn't drop. As Bridge waits to slow things down, waits for the rest of the team to catch up. And passes inside to Amadi, who lays it in. And Revolution doing a good job moving the ball around, getting the pass inside, getting some good looks at the basket. Manson's pass inside, picked up by Beatty. Beatty with the reverse, doesn't go. Back over to Bridge. And great pass to Amadi again, just lays it in. That link up between Bridge and Amadi. They know where each other are on the court. They know where they're going to be. When you've got players that play together like that, it's always so exciting to see how they find each other with the passes. So Beatty on the baseline. Manson, tough shot, blocked by Amadi. And pass over to Edwards, is intercepted, so Rocks come back with it. Cassels against Tonner. Cassels round to Beatty, and it's stolen away. Bridge and Tonner up ahead. Bridge is going to go all the way, puts it in. That's a quick 8-0 lead for the Revolution. Manson, great pass over. And doesn't drop. Revolution ball. Tonner to Bridge. They're on the 3-point line, just inside. Bridge on the baseline. And what a reverse for Bridge. Great finish. You can hear the shouts of "and one" as well from the Revolution players under the basket. Cassels. Up to McLaughlin. Shots up, and it's good, but the foul was called on the shot, so he's going to head to the line. Daniel McLaughlin with a tough basket. That gets the Rocks on the board for the game. McLaughlin will have a chance at a 3-point play. And shot's good. So first points on the board for the Rocks. 10-3 Revolution lead. Bridge passes inside to Tonner. And fouls on the floor before the shot. So end line Revolution ball. Edwards into Amadi, gets it back. Edwards with the long two, doesn't drop. And Manchester look like they've come out pretty strong here, pretty early on in the first quarter, which is something he struggled a little bit with in the last game against Sheffield. As Carrigill pulls down the rebound. And Amadi going 1-on-1 against Manson. That's going to be a foul. Sophie Carrigill, of course, playing in the Women's Premier League, which starts tomorrow. You can catch her team, the East London Phoenix, as they'll be in action tomorrow afternoon. Edwards into Tonner. Back into Amadi. And nothing but net for Ibrahim Amadi on that one. And this Glasgow team, relatively new, younger players that they've got on this team. A bit of a rebuilding season for the Rocks. And so it can be difficult to come up after quite an experienced team such as the Revolution, as Amadi puts it in off the glass. As Cassell's inbounds over to Beattie. Comes up against Carrigill. Round to Cassell's. And pass is stolen away. Tonner comes up with it. Tonner working his way down the court. Speeds ahead. Can't get the layup to go. And Beattie for Glasgow. Going baseline, comes up against Edwards. Knocked out of bounds, so it stays Rocks ball. So we're going to have a timeout. So the team's going to talk things over. 14-3, the Manchester Revolution lead over the Glasgow Rollin Rocks. We've got 4:28 to play in the first quarter. And the Revolution, currently they are led by Ibrahim Amadi. He's got 8 points, 3 rebounds, and Billy Bridge adding in 4 points and 2 assists as well. A really great start for Ibrahim to today's game. He's been a really strong player throughout this season, and his rebounding in particular for me, always very impressive to see. He's always got such a long wingspan, always able to tap the ball just where it needs to be, it always seems, and he does a great job of that for the Revolution. And leading the way for the Rocks, James Beattie has 2 points and 2 rebounds, as well as a steal. So in Glasgow with a little bit of a shorter roster today, just 8 players having made the trip to Manchester. But some great players that they have on that squad as well, and again, great to see the development of players on both these teams. So back on the court, it is endline Rocks ball. As McLaughlin will inbound. Passing to Manson. Great pass inside to Beattie. Can't finish. And possession is going to stay with the Rocks. So McLaughlin on the inbound into Manson. Shots up and it's good. Great shot from Josh Manson. Under pressure as well. 14-5 Revolution lead. Amadi tries the 2, pops down. Cassell comes up with it for the Rocks. Cassell, pass over to Manson. He just hit that 2 on the baseline. Fires, and that one doesn't drop. The ball's out, going to go back with the Revolution. So Glasgow will be playing the Sheffield Steelers tomorrow, so double-header weekend for them. And the Revolution, their next game will be against the Steelers, but in March, so a little bit of a break for them. And that is because they are heading to the International Champions Cup, which we'll talk about shortly. As pass inside to Bridge, finishes, and that's just a perfect example of the Revolution moving the ball really well, players being able to cut and get that pass. Beatty, long pass over to McLaughlin. Doesn't drop, and you see the pressure there that Sophie Carrigill puts on the shot just makes it really difficult to shoot over. And doing a great job defensively is Carrigill. Edwards to Amadi. He's been working well all game. Oh, great little pass to Tonner. But there was a foul on the floor. And you see that there. Martin Edwards almost making that hockey assist as he passes to Amadi, who then sees Tonner has a bit more space than him and passes back out. So end line Revolution. Edwards into Bridge. Gets it back. Edwards on the baseline. Over to Amadi. And Bridge's shot is up, just spins out. And you see how much space Bridge had there, the free throw line, as Edwards finishes that one. So Edwards able to draw the double team. Obviously, it's going to leave a player open. Bridge tried to take advantage of it. Shot popped out, but a really good look. And that's working well for the Revolution. Beatty, hands off to Beatty. David Beatty shots up, doesn't drop. Rebound McKenzie. Tonner around the arc. Pass over to Edwards inside. Edwards, tough shot. Oh, and he makes it look easy. Revolution out to a quick 15-point lead here in the first. David Beatty controlling things. Beatty against Amadi, and travel call on the rocks. So Bridge to inbound over to Edwards. Edwards to Tonner in the corner. Amadi gets it. And doesn't drop, but gets his own rebound. Finishes the putback, and there we say, as you see, Ibrahim Amadi gets the offensive board, finishes the putback, gets 2 points on the board for the Revolution. McKenzie just drops out, and Amadi pulls down the rebound. He's having a fantastic game today. Edwards, pass over to Bridge, and lays it in. Revolution working really well together, trying to erase that memory of the last defeat against the Steelers just before Christmas. Looking to get back in the win column. Cassells. Over to McLaughlin. And pass is knocked out. Revolution get the ball back with 21.6 remaining in the quarter. So there will be a timeout called by the Manchester Revolution. And it's situations like this, 21.6 on the clock. First quarter, yes, you've got a 19-point lead, but it's a good opportunity to practice some plays, try some sets, and try it in a real game situation, because as hard teams will tell you, as much as they practice, there's nothing like running a play or trying to execute something in a real life, real game situation. So we'll see what they draw up and look to finish with to end the first quarter. And Revolution have Amadi leading them at 10 points, 5 rebounds already in the first quarter. Martin Edwards taking a slight backseat scoring wise, but has 4 assists already, so really facilitating for his teammates in today's game. So 21.6 left in the first quarter. Shot clock is off. Revolution can hold for the last shot. Amadi over to Edwards. Edwards going to reset. 9 seconds. Edwards over to Bridge. Bridge into Amadi and can't keep control of it. Ball is going to go back with Glasgow. You wonder if maybe it was just one pass too many. Looked like Bridge had a good look at the basket on the baseline. And Rocks get the ball. 2 seconds. Over to Cassels. And that is going to do it for the end of the first quarter. Revolution lead 24-5. Behind 10 points, 5 rebounds from Ibrahim Amadi, and 8 points and 2 assists from Billy Bridge. Glasgow are led by James Beattie, Josh Manson on 2 points apiece, and James Beattie also adding in 3 rebounds. So as I mentioned before, this is the last Manchester Revolution home game of the season. They have a run of games from March all away, but in February next week really, starting on the 2nd of February, it is the Eurocup Champions Cup, and they will be playing in their group stages, in the group games on the 3rd and 4th of February. 2 games a day against some of the best teams in Europe, and such a great opportunity for the Manchester Revolution to be recognised and part of the tournament. Obviously wanting to do GB British wheelchair basketball proud and show the rest of the world the talent that we have here in this country and what they can do. And Robin Love, who unfortunately not with us today, she has her first game of the Women's Premier League tomorrow, so good luck to Robin and the Loughborough Lightning. But Robin obviously has mentioned in the past how they'll be coming up against teams who are professional teams who have a paid to play situation in their clubs, so it's a tough call for the Revolution to go up against them, but a great exposure and hopefully a great experience, and hopefully they can get some wins and move on to the next round. So keep an eye out for that starting next week. So about to get things underway for the second quarter. And it's Revolution ball to start things off. So Edwards to Tonner. Tonner from the baseline. It's a bit too strong as Manson chases down the board and going to go out but go with the Rocks. David Beattie over to Manson. Comes up against Edwards. Great pass inside to Cassels and gets the basket and going to head to the line. It was a great finish from Ronnie Cassels. And that foul was on Amadi, his first. So Ronnie Cassels with the chance for the 3-point play. And connects. Takes the Rocks to 8 points. So Tonner powering up the court. Hands it off to Amadi. Amadi fires, can't hit. And Cassels comes down with the rebound. Hands it off to Beattie. Over to Manson. He's got space. It's a good look. Shots up and just bounces out. Amadi pushing the pace. We've got Dawson on the court for the first time for the Revolution as Amadi with the reverse layup. And we see it pretty much every game. Ibrahim Amadi loves a good reverse layup. So Gary Dawson onto the court for the first time for the Revolution. And we see him going up against Beattie. Pass inside to McLaughlin. That's a bit too strong. Amadi grabs the rebound. It's another one for him. Edwards. Gonna slow it down, was going 1-on-3. Over to Amadi, just a bit too short underneath. Again, it gets his own offensive board and puts it back in. And he's already on 12 points, 7 rebounds. What a game for Ibrahim. As the Rocks try and answer, Cassels into Beatty, and it just drops in. Amadi to Edwards. Edwards shoots, and unlucky for that not to drop. James Beatty inside and gets the basket and the foul. And Glasgow doing a really good job of being able to draw the fouls when they're going inside and finishing the baskets. Third time at the line for them so far. So James Beatty shooting 1. And baskets waved off as he was just slightly over the line when he took that shot. So sideline ball, Edwards on the inbound. To Amadi. Amadi weaving through, hands it off to Dawson. Dawson shots a bit short, grabs his own offensive rebound, but it's intercepted by Beatty. He's got Edwards trailing him. And offensive foul called on David Beatty on that possession. And it'll be Cal Doherty from the sideline for the Revolution. Into Amadi. Pass underneath the basket to Edwards, who can't finish, gets his own rebound though. Second chance doesn't go. Third time lucky, no. Doherty chases it down, and Revolution get a fresh 14. Pass over to Tonner. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Edwards steps back to Dawson. Dawson fires and rolls in. Great shot from Gary Dawson. Shot clock winding down. The patience of the team to move the ball around. Edwards' shot wasn't on. Dawson space inside and finishes. And as I mentioned earlier, Gary Dawson, Kaylee English, also playing for the Revolution's Division 2 North team. And they got their first win of the season just before Christmas against the Sheffield Steelers D2 team. As David Beatty hits nothing but net on that one for the Rocks. Takes them to 14, 30-14, 6:14 left to go in the half. Edwards. Spins, using Doherty as a screen to Tonner, gets it back. Got space, back to Tonner. Great ball movement inside to Doherty. Doesn't finish. Offensive board, Martin Edwards, and puts it back in. And the Revolution doing a great job of moving the ball around. Maybe that's something that wasn't quite working for them against the Steelers in their loss the last game. So look like that's something they've really been working on, really practicing to get into good positioning. As Beatty fires off the backboard and in. Edwards out to Doherty, passing to Tonner with the reverse and finishes. Great pass and finish from Finn Tonner. And Revolution are finding the space in that line, being able to draw the Glasgow players out, create space inside the lane, able to just roll to the basket. Beatty against Dawson. Beatty from the baseline. Shot short into the hands of Amadi. Amadi hands it off to Doherty. Doesn't finish, but a great pass from Amadi. David Beattie against Edwards, that's a mismatch. Round to Manson. And got another offensive foul call on the Rocks. Ball's back with the Revolution. As we got a substitution, Finn Tonner heads to the bench and Billy Bridge checks back in for the Revolution. So Edwards. Drop pass off, hands it off to Doherty. Can't finish the shot. Manson comes up with the rebound. Manson setting things up, fires. Oh, in and out, that's unlucky, it was a good look. As Amadi controls things for the Revolution. Pass over to Edwards, and Edwards is going to get the and one. That is second team foul on Glasgow this quarter. It's going to send Edwards to the line for the chance at a three-point play. And it's got not entirely sure what we're waiting for here, but ball's over to Edwards. And free throws up. Lane violation by Glasgow. Just started rolling to the basket before the shot was up, so Edwards will take that again. I think Edwards faked them out a bit with his shot. Shot's up and it's good. 37-16 Revolution lead with just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Manson into Cassels, and he's fouled. I think he's saying he was fouled on the shot. The ref goal looks like it was on the floor. Fouls on Billy Bridge. And we're going to see Richard Pullen check in. So Pullen's in for Amadi, and Amadi heading to the bench with a fantastic 14 points, 9 rebounds in the game already. As Ronnie Cassels at the line. So they decided it was on the shot. First one doesn't drop. Second one's good. 1 or 2 from the line for Cassels. So Bridge for the Revolution against Beattie. Spins to Pullen. Oh, and a great pass as Pullen just lays it in. And that pass and that pick and roll is working really well for the Revolution. Manson. Spins against Dawson. Skip pass over to Beattie. He's got Doherty on him. Beattie with the fadeaway. Tough shot, doesn't drop. As Pullen hands it off to Edwards. And Bridge, can't finish. Just a bit too strong. Beattie gets it over the halfway line for the Rocks. David Beattie unable to chase that one down. So Revolution ball. Inbound to Bridges. Edwards over to Bridge. Long two from Billy Bridge. Doesn't drop. Manson gets the rebound. And shot doesn't drop. Pullen gets the rebound. We've got a foul on the play. That's on Josh Manson. It was just an unfortunate bump after the shot as he ran into Pullen. So, Revolution ball, 39-17. Manchester lead here in the first half. Glasgow having done a really good job this quarter, scoring wise. Just scored 5 in the opening quarter, 12 in this one. Balls over to Beattie. To Cassell. Fires. Doesn't drop. Doherty grabs the rebound. Revolution coming back. Hands it off to Bridge. Bridge has got Pullen on his left and just can't keep it inside. As it's going to go back the way of the Rocks. But we'll have a timeout. Glasgow. And the team's going to talk things over. So 1:16 to play in the first half. Revolution have a 41-17 lead. Coming out really strong here. Not having played since before Christmas when they had their first loss of the season to the Sheffield Steelers. So looking to avenge that, get back on top, back into the winning column, and to come out really, really strong here against the Glasgow Rollin Rocks. Looking like they're trying some things that are a little bit different, maybe things that didn't work last time, and doing a very good job of being able to drive the lane, get into, force the Rocks out to guard the shot, double teaming Edwards, and you've obviously got a player open who can roll to the basket. So Ibrahim Ahmadi leads the way on 14 points and 9 rebounds. And for the Rocks, we have James Beattie on 8 points with 3 rebounds and an assist as well. Ronnie Cassell's adding in 4 points, 5 rebounds. And Manchester doing a really good job on the offensive boards again, something that maybe wasn't working too well for them last time against Sheffield. They've grabbed 8 this game, and obviously very important for those second chance points, which they've got 12 of so far compared to Glasgow's 2. Because you want to get the offensive board, but then you want to get the putback as well. You just want to be satisfied with the board. So just got a slight scoreboard malfunction here in the venue. Table's just going to sort it out. I think it's been accidentally reset. So we'll get that sorted out before we get underway. And if you want some more British wheelchair basketball action this weekend, the Women's Premier League starts tomorrow with the East London Phoenix against the Cardiff Met Archers at 3 o'clock. You can watch that on the British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube channel. And following that game, the Loughborough Lightning, Robin Love, and she and the Lightning will be facing the Worcester Wolves at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So you can have a whole afternoon of wheelchair basketball action. Obviously the Lightning looking to defend their title. They won the Championship last season in the first season of the Women's Premier League, and they're looking to run that back, do the double. So they'll start their campaign tomorrow, and you can follow all action on the British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube channel. And very exciting league to have. It's great to see the players that we have and the talent in this league, and I know we have players that have come over to play in it, which is a great sign and a really great advert for the league. And obviously Manchester Revolution's very own Sophie Carrigill will be playing for the East London Phoenix. So make sure to check those games out. So scoreboard is sorted out. And we're back underway. So Beattie over to Cassels. Beattie gets it back. And into James Beattie, off the glass, drops in. As we got just under a minute to play in the first half. And Edwards fires, doesn't drop. As Mackenzie's pressured, gets the ball over the line, but Edwards nearly knocks it out. McLaughlin comes up with it, hands it over to James Beattie inside. Beattie off the glass, great move from him to get to the basket. As Bridge passes down to Edwards in the corner. Edwards to Bridge, fires and hits. And that takes the Revolution to 43. And so the buzzer's gone, but the time is still running on the clock. We should have around 8 seconds left. They're just going to reset that. And I think they've waved it off. There's a slight discussion. Looked like we had around 8 seconds left, but I think they're just going to discuss. We'll let you know what's going on as soon as we get the nod from the table. So they've waved off the 8 seconds. Sorry for any confusion. We're just trying to determine what the decision was. So it is half time. It is 43-21 to the Manchester Revolution, and they have been led so far by a fantastic performance from Ibrahim Ahmadi. He is on 14 points with 9 rebounds. Billy Bridge, 10 points, 4 assists. And for Glasgow, James Beattie having a great game, 12 points, 3 rebounds as well. Ronnie Cassels, 4 points, pulling down 5 rebounds. So we're going to take a quick break for half time, and we'll be back with you in around 8 minutes time. Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre as we're getting ready for the second half between the Manchester Revolution and the Glasgow Rollin Rocks. Manchester currently have a 43-21 lead as we head into the third quarter after a very confusing end to the first. But we're back underway. It's all good. Scoreboard's all sorted. Time is sorted. It's going to be a good second half. And it will be Glasgow ball to start the quarter as McLaughlin gets it inside to Beattie. Beattie fires, doesn't get it to fall. Martin Edwards grabs the rebound. Gets it over to Kayla English, who we see into the game for the first time for the Revolution. And great no-look pass from Amadi to Doherty. What a pass! Casual as anything. Ibrahim just taps it over his head. Doherty knows exactly where to be under the basket and just finishes. Fantastic move. David Beattie. Over to James Beattie. Knockdown, and Amadi's on the break. Beattie's ahead of him. Amadi spins, great move, and just finishes. And Amadi with 16 points so far in the game. He's averaging at 9.1 this season. Smashing that already here in the third quarter. David Beattie. And pass is just a little bit too strong as it goes out of the hands of McLaughlin. Doherty to Amadi, to Edwards, and Edwards' shot pops out. James Beattie gets the rebound. Rock's coming back. And tough shot from Beattie. And Edwards manages to keep the ball alive. Gets it over to Amadi. Just going to slow things down. Reset to Edwards. Spins. Amadi gets it back. Shot clock's down to 4. Needs to get something off. Edwards needs to put it up. Does. And hits. Great shot from Martin Edwards. And the patience, not rushing the shot, knowing the shot clock's running down. Needs to get something off, but there's no panic there. Just puts it up. He's done that so many times. Cassels hands it over to David Beattie. Back over to James. James Beattie with the long 2. A bit too short. Doherty pulls it down. And sideline ball. Revolution. Got 7:25 to play in the third. Edwards. Long pass over to Doherty. Doherty's got space, fires, doesn't get it to drop. English grabs the rebound and fights for it. And great job by Kayla English, positioning herself. Edwards to Amadi and back, and the link up between these two guys is amazing to see. They make that pass look so casual, but they just know exactly where they're going to be, able to get into the right positions, and you can see how much they've practiced that, how much they work together. As Austin McKenzie heading to the bench for the Rocks, and Josh Manson checking back in. Pass into Amadi, going against Beattie. Shot's no good. Manson is there for the sideline. Wasn't going after the rebound, was let it going to go out and then pass it inside. It's David Beattie bringing the ball up for the Rocks. Over to Cassels. Cassels with the long two. Oh, connects. Beautiful shot. Edwards to Doherty, and it's knocked out. Going to stay with the Revolution, but great D from Josh Manson. That's Edwards. Edwards with the inbound as the team gets set up. Doherty trying to get free. And does at the top of the key. Passes it back to Edwards. Doherty from the free throw line. It's good. Takes the Revolution to a 51-23 lead. Just over 6 to play in the third quarter. Cassels. He's up against Pullen. Doesn't get it to drop. David Beattie nearly saves the ball in, but it will go back with the Revolution, and great hustle from David Beattie chasing after that offensive rebound. Can't keep it in, but you love to see it. As we're going to have a substitution Revolution, Finn Tonner and Sophie Carrigill in for Cal Doherty and Kaylee English. So Ellen ball rocks into Manson. Manson fires, doesn't get it to drop. Mardy grabs his 10th board of the game, then passes over to Edwards. Edwards thought about the shot. Up against James Beattie, great pass to Amadi, who can't finish. And James Beattie comes up with it for the Rocks. Passes over to Manson, who, it just rolls out. Great move, though, to get to the basket. Edwards over to Tonner. Tonner with a behind-the-head pass. Don't think that was intentional, but did a good job to try and save it in to Amadi, but not quite quick enough. So turnover Revolution back with the Rocks. And timeout called. As again, teams will talk things over. So in the third quarter, it is 51-23 to the Manchester Revolution over the Glasgow Rollin Rocks. We have 5:18 to play in the third. Manchester looking like they've been able to get back into a rhythm in their first game they've played since just before Christmas. They will be next back in action against the Sheffield Steelers on the 4th of March. That will be away in Sheffield, and Glasgow playing tomorrow against the Sheffield Steelers, so a long weekend for them. And of course, the Manchester Revolution are part of the Eurocup Champions Cup, which starts on the 2nd of February, just next week, and they'll be playing on the 3rd and 4th. So make sure to follow them, see how they do in the group stages, coming up against some of the best teams in Europe. But back today, back on court. It will be a Glasgow ball from the end line as Josh Manson gets ready for the inbound. Cassels control things. Pass over to Beattie. And shot's a bit short. Amadi pulls down the rebound over to Edwards. And Martin Edwards leading the Revolution this season, 27 points per game, 12.3 rebounds, averaging a double-double, and adding in 6.1 assists as well. Such a fantastic player, and a great privilege to have him here in Manchester, being able to watch him in these Revolution home games. As looks for the pass inside to Tonner, into Pullen. Pullen fires, can't finish, and Manson again pulls the ball down for the Rocks. It's Beattie, he's got Pullen behind him. Beattie just a bit too strong off the glass as Carrigal cleans up. And Tonner. He's got Manson all over him. Great D from Josh Manson. Tonner into Amadi. Hands it off to Edwards, and Edwards shoots and hits. So count that one, and he's going to head to the foul line. Martin Edwards with a chance at a three-point play. Takes the Revolution to 53, a 30-point lead. And Glasgow, as I mentioned before, a little bit of a short-handed roster today. Just a six-player rotation as Edwards finishes. And a bit of a rebuild for this Rocks team this season, but they're doing a great job so far in the game today, showing a lot of heart, a lot of hustle, making some great plays. And the Revolution obviously will have an eye on the Europeans next week. And we'll be wanting to finish today's game strong as they head into those ones. So Cassels passes back to Manson. Manson fires, doesn't drop. Beattie almost saves it in but can't quite finish. So back with the Revolution. And hi rollers, I see you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. No, Dylan's not here, unfortunately. As Amadi passes over to Edwards. Or if he is, he's not come and said hello. So if you are here, Dylan, come say hello. As Pullen fires and knocks down the two. And substitution. Richard Pullen going to check out for the Revolution as Billy Bridge comes back into the game. And Bridge, we saw in that last game against the Steelers, 19 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of assists. Having a great game again, and a really strong season for him. Averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3.3 assists so far, and pass inside to Cassels. He's pulled away by Edwards. Tonner. Shot's no good. It looked like Cassels may have got a hand on that one as he comes up with it for the Rocks. Cassels all the way, too strong. Bridge gets the rebound. And long pass over to Amadi. Beattie catches up, no look over to Tonner. Amadi gets it back and finishes. What a possession from the Revolution. Beattie over to Manson. He's coming up against Edwards. Tough shot, doesn't drop. Offensive board Rocks. Beattie into Manson, and he finishes. Bridge for the Revolution. Bridge fires and hits off the backboard. Banks that one in. As As Manson sets things up for the Rocks, hands it over to Beatty. No, he doesn't. That was a great fake pass. It tricked me. As James Beatty passes inside to Cassels and he finishes. And Carrigill gets it over to Edwards. Over to Bridge. Bridge against Beatty and Cassels. Great handoff over to Tonner. Kicks it back out to Amadi at the top of the key. And we've got a foul on the possession. So it'll be sideline at Revolution ball. That's Bridge. He's got a lot of space there for three. Hits! First three of the game for the Revolution. And Bridge is a problem if you're going to leave him open with that much space. He's going to make you pay for it. As Manson tries to answer. Bridge just under a minute to play. Sets things up for the Revolution. Over to Tonner. And offensive foul call on Tonner. So Rocks get the ball back. We got 34.2 to play in the third. 63-27, the Manchester Revolution lead over the Rocks. That'll be David Beatty on the baseline. Cassels gets it over the line. Shot doesn't drop and Tonner grabs the rebound. Shot clock's off. 90 seconds to go and he's bumped. Got a foul call. So it's going to be Revolution ball. And Tonner, apologies, it will be Tonner shooting two as that foul takes Glasgow over the line onto 5 fouls. And second free throw coming up, and it's basket's good, but it's not. It's waved off. There was a lane violation. As ball's in, 17.6 to play. Cassels gets it over to Manson, and there'll be a foul on Bridge. .5 to play in the third. David Beatty with the inbound for Glasgow. Into Manson. To Beatty. 6 seconds. Beatty needs to get something off. Turns and knocked out by Amadi, who steals it away at the buzzer. And some great D from the Revolution, pressuring the ball, forcing the turnover. So at the end of the third quarter, it is 63-27 Revolution lead over the Glasgow Rollin Rocks. Manchester currently led by 18 points from Ibrahim Amadi, 10 points. Sorry, let me start again. Ibrahim Amadi, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal and a block. A really, really strong game from him today. He's been absolutely fantastic. And also for the Revolution, Billy Bridge, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists and 2 steals as well. Martin Edwards, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. We're on triple-double watch for Martin Edwards. And leading the way for Glasgow, James Beatty, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal. And Ronnie Cassels, 8 points, 4 rebounds and an assist. So we'll be back underway for the fourth quarter very shortly. But as I mentioned before, this is the last Manchester Revolution home game of the season. So thank you to everybody who has watched on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel throughout the season and come down to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester to watch the games. It's been a fantastic atmosphere. Great to see so much support for the team in their first season in the Premier Division, and hope to see how far they can go when it comes down to playoff and final time later in the year. But back underway here at the National Basketball Performance Centre, getting ready for the fourth quarter. It will be Revolution ball to start things off. And Edwards gets it into Bridge. And Bridge with the long 2, doesn't drop. Manson gets the rebound for Glasgow. He's done a great job on the boards for them so far today's game. David Beattie fires and hits! And that takes him to 4 points in today's game. Long pass over to Bridge, it's just a bit too strong, so Glasgow get the ball back. As the Rocks come up the court, Beattie controlling things. Over to Manson. Beattie gets it back at the top of the key, comes up against Edwards. Gets out of it, and pass is stolen away by Amadi. Over to Bridge. And Bridge going to slow things down for the Revolution, set things up. Edwards into Amadi, coming up against McKenzie. And Amadi manages to finish. That was a really difficult shot. I think he was looking for the foul call afterwards. But Manson hands it off to Beattie. And Beattie with a tough leaning shot, doesn't fall. Amadi with the rebound. Oh, and a great pass over to Bridge. Ibrahim Amadi putting on a passing clinic today. He has 5 assists to go along with his 10 rebounds and 20 points. And time out. Here in the third, it is 67-29, Revolution lead, 8:23 to go in the third. The Revolution will be back in action in the Premier Division on March the 4th against the Sheffield Steelers, looking to avenge that loss they had just before Christmas. But before that, they will be in the Eurocup Champions Cup, which kicks off on the 2nd of February. The Revolution's games will be on the 3rd and 4th, so make sure to follow along. We'll all be cheering the team on, hoping they can make a real impact in the group, move on to the next stage. So make sure to follow along. And again, more British wheelchair basketball action tomorrow as the Women's Premier League kicks off. Robin Love and the Loughborough Lightning will be playing at 5 p.m. against the Worcester Wolves, and Sophie Carrigill and the East London Phoenix will have the earlier game against the Cardiff Met Archers. So make sure to tune in on the British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube channel and follow along to watch some great games. But back underway here in Manchester. Pass over to McLaughlin, fires, doesn't drop. Bridge gets the rebound for the Revolution. And the Revolution have been doing a fantastic job on the boards today. 42 rebounds, 10 offensive, and Edwards just pops it back in. Something they struggled with a little bit in our last game against the Sheffield Steelers. So clearly something they've been working on in their practice time in the break they've had between games, as Beattie fires over to James Beattie. And there is an offensive foul. That'll be on the Rocks. So ball is back with the Revolution. Kaylee English back into the game for Manchester. And Austin McKenzie in for Ronnie Cassels for the Rocks. Bridge over to Amadi, gets it back, great move. Bridge with a scoop layup, puts it in. Takes the Revolution to 71. Manson fires, just too strong as the Revolution come back on the attack. Tonner hands it off to Edwards. Long pass to Bridge. Edwards gets it back inside. He's got McKenzie on him. 6 seconds to shoot. Great D from McKenzie. Pass into Bridge. And can't finish, but Amadi gets the rebound. Can't finish the putback. And again, second offensive board. And foul on the shot. So Amadi doing a great job rebounding. Doesn't get the finish, but he's going to head to the line for 2. And well, first we'll have a timeout and then he'll head to the line. So it's 71-29 at 6:39 to go. Manchester Revolution looking very in control in this game. And it's something they'll be very pleased with as they bounce back from that loss to Sheffield before Christmas. And Glasgow, as I mentioned before, a bit of a rebuild for this team, a young squad. And it's great to see the heart and the hustle that they've been playing with so far into the game today. Had a really, really strong second quarter, actually, putting up 16 points. And we've seen some great play from Josh Manson, James Beattie, and Ronnie Cassels doing a great job on the boards as well. So, back underway. Ibrahim Amadi at the line shooting 2. First time at the line today. First one doesn't fall. Second one's good. Takes him to 21, along with 14 points and 7 rebounds. Triple-double watch for Amadi as well as Martin Edwards. As James Beattie gets the ball for Glasgow. Drives baseline. Passes inside to McKenzie. And doesn't drop. Bridge was doing a great job there of really pressuring the shot. Amadi over to Bridge, into Pullen, great pass. Pullen shot short, grabs the offensive board, and again, third time lucky as Pullen puts it back. And James Beattie up against Pullen, passes out to Manson. Manson fires, doesn't hit. Amadi over to Pullen. And Bridge behind the line. And offensive foul call on the Revolution. So ball goes back with the Rocks. Manson over to Mackenzie. James Beattie gets it back. Passes over to David. Fires. Doesn't drop. Rebound Revolution. Apologies, went out of bounds. Looked like Tonner had grabbed it. As Tonner passes in. Amadi. Looking for the shot. Passes over to Bridge. Bridge doesn't drop. Pulling with another offensive board. And shoots against Manson again. Great D from Josh Manson to pressure the shot. As Finn Tonner checks out, Kaylee English comes back in for Manchester. And Cal Doty in for Martin Edwards. Manson over to Beattie. Pass inside to Mackenzie and doesn't drop. Good look. Amadi comes powering down the court. Over to Pullen. And Pullen gets the basket and will head to the line. Tough finish from Richard Pullen. And both teams have done a really good job in today's game of managing to finish the basket and getting the foul call. Heading to the line for a chance at a three-point play. We've had several of those throughout today's game. As we see Gary Dawson back in for the Revolution. As Pullen's shot drops. And Beattie gets it on the baseline. Doesn't drop. Dawson grabs the rebound over to Amadi. And pass to Bridge. Bridge, he looks like he's got space there. He's going to pass off to Doherty. Doesn't drop. Amadi gets the rebound and puts it back in. That takes Ibrahim Amadi to 23 points to go along with 17 rebounds and 8 assists. What a game he's having today. Manson, round to Beattie. Beattie backing up Pullen. Out to David Beattie at the top. Doherty, pressure in the ball. Beattie manages to save it, gets it over to Manson. He fires, doesn't get the ball to drop. Pullen gets the rebound, hands it over to Amadi. And Bridge is in the corner. Into Pullen, and doesn't drop. Ball is last off the Revolution, so goes back with the Rocks. We've got 3 minutes to play in the fourth. 79-29, Manchester lead over Glasgow. Ibrahim Amadi with a huge game for the Revolution at 23 points on 11 of 20 shooting. 8 assists and 18 rebounds. Yes, 18 rebounds, 6 of them offensive, and you know, why not add in 4 steals as well, Ibrahim? Why not? What a fantastic game he is having for the Revolution. Martin Edwards, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists as well. And Billy Bridge dropping in 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists and a couple of steals. Leading the way for Glasgow, James Beattie has 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And Ronnie Cassell's 8 points, 5 rebounds and 2 steals. Josh Manson on 2 points and 2 points and 6 rebounds and an assist, but he has been doing a fantastic job of really pressuring the ball. Really impressed with his defense throughout the game and making it really tough for the Revolution to shoot over. So back underway. We got 3 minutes to play as Ronnie Cassell checks back in. And Austin McKenzie on the bench for the Rocks. Now we see Gary Davidson into the game for the first time for Glasgow. And shot up, it's good. Takes the Revolution to 81. Beattie to Davidson. Kicks it back out to Beattie. Thought about the shot. As Bridge comes up with it for the Revolution. Bridge. No good. Gets his own rebound. Over to Pullen. Pullen's shot doesn't fall. Doherty fights for the rebound, gets it back out. Pullen tries again and hits. As Cassell works against Dawson. Round to Davidson. To Beattie, and it's good. Takes the Rocks to 31. Also, we have Bobby Park into the game for the Rocks for the first time as Edwards lays it in at the other end. Revolution have 85. Their highest scoring game so far this season was 89. Can they top that today? As Gary Davidson controls it for the Rocks. Pass inside to Beattie. Great pass and finish from Beattie. As we've got just under a minute to play. Edwards. To Pullen. Oh, he's got loads of space under the basket and puts it in. Davidson into James Beattie. Gets it back out. Shots up, doesn't go. So Revolution get the ball back. 30.6 in the game. Will be Edwards to inbound, over to Pullen. To Bridge. Bridge for 3. Doesn't go. Doherty tips it to Edwards. Edwards resets, spins. Inside to Pullen. Pullen's shot doesn't fall. Grabs his own offensive rebound. Puts it back in. And takes the Revolution to 89. And that will do it for the game. 89-33 Manchester Revolution. With a really strong performance coming out, firing here at the National Basketball Performance Centre. They were led by Ibrahim Ahmadi, a fantastic 23 points, 18 rebounds, 8 assists and 4 steals. Martin Edwards on 20 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 0 turnovers. And for a player that handles the ball as much as Martin Edwards did, that is very impressive to not have a single turnover for the whole game. And Billy Bridge, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple of steals for the Revolution. Richard Pullen had 15 and 8. A great game from him, and his highest scoring game with the Revolution this season. And for the Glasgow Rolling Rocks, James Beattie, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And Ronnie Cassels, 8 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals as well. Josh Manson adding in 4 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist as well. So congratulations to the Manchester Revolution, moving to 8-1 in the Premier Division. Glasgow will face Sheffield tomorrow, and we'll be looking at again get back into the win column, but massive credit to them. They played a great game, some really, really strong performances from the team, quite short-handed, but they put on a fantastic game against the Revolution and didn't quit. They kept going, some really strong players, and got a really bright future for them in the league. So that will do it from us here at the National Basketball Performance Centre. This was a YouTube channel all season long, and to everyone that has come down and supported the team here at Bellevue. So make sure to follow the team as they head into the European Champions Cup this week, and stick around on the British wheelchair basketball action as the Women's Premier League starts this weekend. You can follow all the scores on their website for the rest of the Revolution's games that are away throughout the rest of the regular season. So thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time.